YouTube, we back with another tutorial, and today we are going to do a mid taper, a nice fade on the wavelength haircut, and blend it right down to the beard, shape it up, get my guy looking right, get him out the door. So let's get into it. I always like to break down my haircuts into 4 simple phases. First is always going to be the prep. So when we're prepping, we're just getting the canvas ready to execute to move on to our next phases, which is the taper, the lineup, and then we'll do some detail work. So right now, since he has a wavelength haircut, we're just combing through the hair. We're going to pick it out as well. And we want to take note of the growth pattern, take note of where the calyx are. He does have one on the lineup area, and we're also taking note of that light spot in the crown area. So when we take our client down to that desired length, we're going to take note of all these things to have the haircut come out as best as possible. So since he has that light area, I'm going to try to take it down where it's not too low, because he still likes to keep it dark, but also it takes away the noticeability of that lighter crown area. So I have a 1 guard on here, and it's just halfway open. And I'm starting from that area, and then I'm just gradually working my way around the head. I'm making sure I comb the hair, and I'm following the growth pattern to make sure that I don't accidentally go against the grain anywhere, because this will cause more light spots in the hair. And this is sped up a little bit, but I am taking my time. I'm not in no rush when I'm cutting down the hair. Even though this is a very simple part of the haircut, you can still make a mistake in this part of the haircut. And sometimes, especially when there's a cowlick in the front, I will just breeze past it, not really applying any pressure with the clipper, because I just want to kind of thin down that hair just a little bit before I cut it down to the actual desired length, so I can make sure that I see the true direction the hair is growing in. And now I'm just laying down the hair with a little bit of Nairobi. I like to keep my services efficient, so I don't put the do-rag on the client or go and wash the hair or anything like that. That's fine if that's part of your service. That can be part of your prep for the service. But I just do the Nairobi and lock it in with a blow dryer, and then right here I'm spraying the spritz down to lock the lineup in place, so once it's time to do the lineup, it will be nice and crispy. And I'm big on executing the prep part because I like to get in flow state. So once we fade and do our lineup, I don't want to keep having to grab more product maybe until the end of the service. I would like to just go ahead and prep the client first, and then I can knock out my fade, knock out my lineup. And if I want to add any more products, if you want to add any more products, you can do so at the end. And so basically for my first guidelines, I used the clipper, but I went from the top of the ear to the end of the eyebrow. And take note of your reference points, because you always want to use the same thing on both sides and keep everything symmetrical. This will save you a lot, because when you're kind of freestyling guidelines, you will notice that it's just little imperfections in your haircut. So I'm keeping my guidelines clean, so when I do my taper, it can also be clean. And to start off the taper, we just open up the lever and we go about a 1/2 inch up into the haircut, well, above the guideline, I'm sorry. So we can leave some space and make sure that C cup is still dark. I'm very big on using your tools to your advantage, using your techniques to your advantage. And I never like to go too high, especially on a person who's keeping their C cups, because I want to make sure that C cup is still dark and blends right into that taper. And for the beard fade, I literally kept the lever open and I flipped the clipper, and I'm just breezing past that top initial guideline. I flipped it back with the lever still open, and I'm just working my way up back towards that initial guideline. And every time I work my way up a little bit, I'm closing the clipper just a little bit more. And I feel like you can keep it as simple as you want to keep it. Always remember, a blend is just a gradual transition from dark to light. So whatever makes the most sense for you to get that transition, you can achieve that. It's all about keeping your steps simple or as complicated as you want to. You just got to find what works for you. And when I'm cornering, I'm kind of just detailing any dark spots that I see. But always remember too, the taper doesn't have to be perfect before you move on to your next step. This is just the initial rough draft, so to say, because once we put our lineup on, we can come back and perfect it as much as we want to. So next I threw on the 1.5 guard and I had it all the way open, and I'm just breathing past that top guideline a little bit, and as I close it, I'm working my way up, but I'm just going a little bit lower than I did when I had the clipper open. And since we cut them down to a 1.5, we don't have to spend too much time with this clipper. This is kind of just like a cleanup, and this half guard will try to achieve most of that transition. We may have to come back with the lever open and clean it up, but that's okay. So when we threw on the half guard, I kind of just cleaned it up with it fully open. That's kind of the same desired length we cut it down to, and I flipped it back, and I'm just working my way past that guideline with the lever all the way open, and I can close it little by little as I work towards the bottom of that guideline. And you see, we only use 2 guards to achieve a smooth transition. Now granted, you could have used the 1 guard, maybe even the 2 guard, but why? I'm all about efficiency. Little time savers like this, I remember I used to spend 2 hours maybe on some of my homies when I first started, but that was because I was grabbing every clipper, not every clipper, I'm sorry, I was grabbing every guard possible in between a transition. And once I started taking out guards, that helped save me a lot of time. So to finish out on the other side, I had just closed it all the way up and just cleaned up everything. So we're doing the exact same thing over here, and I'm gonna let y'all watch me a little bit, and if I have anything to say, then I'll say. And I want to shout out all the people continuing to tap into the videos each and every week. Man, I hope y'all are taking a lot of things from these tutorials and taking note of how we keep it simple over here. And I just want to give a shout out to you as well for continuing to tap into your education. Education will take you a long way. Knowledge is power, and you can go real far in this industry depending on how you treat it. If you treat it like a hustle, it'll pay you like a hustle. If you treat this like a business and you're a CEO and you're continuing to learn and reinvest into the craft and reinvest into your knowledge and information and take time and dedication, you're gonna go far. So shout out to you. Let's keep working. I know I'm still working. I do not have it all figured out in the barber game, but I think I'm at a point where I can give value to someone else and it can be passed along. So let's all keep pushing. And I want to give a shout out to my guy Allison. If y'all rocking with this beat, I got it from him. Y'all can check out his Instagram at 614ace. I believe he also has a lot of beats posted to YouTube as well. I believe y'all can check that out. 614 Ace A money sign E. So give my guy a check.
Baby, give me some cash.
But we're just working the system. It's slowly but surely coming together. Everything is looking nice and blended. And once we put the lineup on there, it's really going to pop. Also, you see me pulling the skin and stretching the skin because this makes it easier for the clippers to glide through the skin and glide through to catch the hairs. Sometimes you'll notice on certain clients when you're trying to execute your taper or your fade, the skin will continuously move and you might miss the dark spot or the spot that you're trying to target. So it's always good to stretch the skin when you're tapering or fading. We're doing the exact same thing for the back taper. This one is in 2x speed, so if you want to see it in real time, just go ahead and slow it down a little bit. But how are y'all feeling about the 2-guard system? A lot of people tell me they really like the 2-guard system. It saved them so much time. They didn't even think to do it. So yeah, and I want to give a shout out to my guy, what's his name, Game Changer. Because I started out using his process and steps like a minute ago when I first got into the industry. I think he breaks the haircuts down very good, and then over time I kind of just started doing different stuff, and then I think I started taking a guard out of his steps. So if y'all want to give him a check on his channel, I believe his Game Changer, very cold barber for sure. We're gradually just working our way back down to the initial guideline.
Baby, give me some cash.
And you see me here, I'm using my corners. I'm using the last couple teeth of the blade because I don't want to add any new guidelines where I'm trying to blend out my taper. So for the lineup, I always like to keep it full as possible. I always advocate keeping it full because this is how the client haircuts last longer. And you'll get people telling you, man, your cuts always last, bro. Like, what are you doing? The whole time, all you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. You're keeping the client's hair full as possible. And that natural look just is, I don't know, it's nothing that can come close to just giving the haircut a natural uniform look, bro. Like, you don't have to be over trying to be so cosmetic with your haircuts. I know people have their own styles and whatnot, but it's always good to just go with the natural, with the natural growth patterns and follow exactly where the hair is telling you to place the line at. Even with the beard, I'm doing the same thing. I'm keeping it out at the outer edge, trying to give it that nice crispy line. We're always taking our time. We don't want to have to keep going back and trying to fix stuff because we're trying to rush people or anything like that. Same thing right here. And notice we're using our corners to work our way around the rounds of that neck lineup. And for the lineup, I know y'all be wondering what tools I'm using. I am using the Stylecraft sabers, and I got the diamond tooth blade on there, and it's very crispy, nice hit and goes. Check the link in the description. I do have some links where you guys can purchase some of the products that I'm using, and yeah, so that'll get y'all together. Go ahead and check that out. For the lineup in the front, I'm using reference points. You see me measuring out the vertical bars. I'm just simply checking where they fall at in reference to the end of the eyebrow or the end of the eyeball. So once I line that up, it makes it easy for me to see exactly where that middle lineup needs to be placed at. And I'm simply starting in the middle, and I'm just walking my way to each corner. I'm not overplaying my part. I'm not trying to do too much. I'm not in a rush at all. I'm just simply walking it to the guideline that we just got from placing our verticals. And take note of, we use reference to help guide us through the whole way of this haircut. Even as a beginner to an expert barber, no matter where you fall at, you shouldn't just freestyle a haircut. You should always know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it and according to what. So when we use our reference points, even here, I'm looking in front of the client to see where that darkness is for the bottom of that C cup, and I'm simply tapping it, and then I'm going to that bottom part of the C where you kind of stop seeing the hair grow, and I'm just connecting the two in the middle. What I have on my hand is some pencil just to give it some pop, and we're gonna come back and razor that out anyway. And you see how that taper really comes together when you put that lineup on there? That's why you don't have to spend so much time there trying to perfect the taper, because it's gonna pop and you're gonna notice that it's probably already pretty clean, and it's just minor details you will have to come back and clean up. So for the beard today, I'm showing y'all how these sabers is hitting. I just flipped the clipper and kind of used it the same way I would use a razor. I stretch the skin and I tap and go. And look, we measure, we use our reference, and we take it to the other side using the teeth of the comb. This is how you get that symmetry. You don't have to guess about nothing. Please, I'm gonna dust these these blinds. Please do not bother me about the blinds. I'm gonna get them. One of my clients said something about I'm gonna get the blinds. Please don't bother me about them. Okay, just cut me slack. Now, if y'all see the blinds are still dusty, and after a couple videos, all right, go ahead. But for now, just let me be, please. But I did use the same thing. We put the bottom line on that C cup, and then we just met it right in the middle. And even though we did that for the beard, we're still gonna come through with a straight razor. And for the bottom of the beard, same thing, keeping it full as possible, seeing where we can place that line without jeopardizing the integrity of the beard, keeping it full. We're giving it some shape with the clippers, and all we're doing is following the straight lines um, of the bottom of the neck, and then off the facial shape from the front as well. And you'll kind of see what I mean when I glide past the beard. I'm just working off the face shape. You see what I mean right here? All I'm doing is I'm just working off the structure of the client's face. Now we hit them with that razor. This is part of our detail work. We're in the detail part of the cut, and the razor is something that definitely takes it over the top. It adds about a couple days to the longevity of the haircut. We're stretching the skin and angling the razor at a 30-degree angle. And we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Once you put that first initial razor line, brush that debris away and go back and go over it again. And all we're doing to finish up is just checking for any detail work. We're gonna hit them with the scissors to clean up the beard and call it a day. So YouTube, hopefully y'all enjoyed that haircut tutorial. We'd like to keep it nice and simple over here. And if you like to stop overcomplicating haircuts, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you have any questions or any feedback to give me on these tutorials. I'm open to all criticism. So let's keep working, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Baby, give me some cash.